Hey guys, welcome to the R&D Techies Tech Talk. I'm Roddy Merritt Productions with my boy Delvon Digital.
Delvon? Yes, sir.
Hey,
Delvon Digital in the
and
house.
and we have a special guest tonight, Delvon. I'm gonna let you introduce our special guest tonight.
Well, we have Alita, aka Battle Angel, in the building. She's a little hungry, so she probably won't be talking on the stream tonight, but it just be me and Roddy. But she's here for the moment.
She's making me hungry. Uh,
Facts.
so so December is kind of turned into like a hot month of stuff already that's happened and come out. And usually
Hmm.
like tech slows down towards the end of the year, but we are getting like stuff every week, like new stuff coming out. So I've got a list, and we may get off of that list because I was on Twitter right before we got on and saw some other stuff that I want to kind of talk to you about because you're a photographer.
All right.
MKBHD just dropped his new blind challenge for that he does the picture challenge for all the
Yeah.
phones and the cameras and stuff. That's always interesting. But yeah, lots to talk about. Beeper Mini came out. I'm trying that. I want to hear your thoughts on it.
Gotcha.
Nothing come out with their clothes, and we'll talk about those. And OnePlus 12 is coming. S24 Ultra leaks. Mr. Who's the Boss dropped his phone awards of the year, and so on and so forth. So we'll see how many of those we get through here and jumping into that. But I want to start talking about the Beeper Mini. Me and you've kind of been talking back and forth about that.
Yeah.
Um, I have a lot of friends who are iPhone users and they just refuse, don't want to do anything but the native app on their iPhones. And I've had to carry two phones now for 6 years just for that very reason. Now,
Ooh.
Beeper Mini allows me to carry one phone. It's been super refreshing. But you have a different story. You were able to like convince people to switch over and use Telegram, right?
Yes, I was. My family and friends, like when I say like family and friends, I literally mean like people that I talk to consistently out the week or my family, immediate family. We're all using Telegram, and I even convinced my coworkers at the job. I got all of them on Telegram. Of course, it's like three of us in a whole entire building that has an Android phone. Everybody else has iOS, and everyone is using Telegram with no problems. It's like the best way to communicate, and they were very open to downloading a third party app. I personally, and I guess because I'm older, I really haven't ran into too many people who just refuse to download a third party app. So in my circle, I happen to be lucky and run into some really good, wholesome people who don't mind. So yeah, I converted my whole entire family, not everybody in the family, but like the people I talk to. And what's important is that the people that I talk to immediately is, using that service. I don't really care for like the rest of the world. A lot of people will be like, iMessage is the most popular thing in the US. I don't talk to everyone in the US. I just need to be able to communicate with the people that I communicate with. Now, granted, I do have clients that I run into that I have iPhones, and our communication is always in short spurs. They text me about this, text me about that, and it be done. So I don't really need for them to have iOS or Android for me to, enjoy a good conversation with them. It's business, and after the business concluded, we're not talking anymore. So I think it's important that I have my family and friends using the same app so we can be able to send, you know, high res files and videos and stuff like that and do group chats. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So so like I know your wife, she's an avid iPhone user, right?
Hmm.
So was it like hard for her to switch over to Telegram from iMessage or using that, or does she like it? Um, tell me kind of like how that went, because like most of the people I've tried to get to use it, they're just like, no, I don't want to fool with that. Just text me normal, and they just kind of deal with it because it's just one more app that they don't want to have or they don't want to deal with. That's been my case scenario, like how people have dealt with it. What
Hmm.
about you? Like, how'd you convince them just to switch over?
It was for my wife. Oh my god, it was like the easiest thing ever. First of all, my wife isn't corrupted like everyone else with iMessage. In fact, she doesn't. She 100% don't care what color the bubble is.
Yeah.
She 100% don't care about iMessage. Like it literally means nothing to her. Like literally, right? she's in group chats with her friends at work, and it's green. It's broken because two of the friends in there got Androids, and nobody in there care.
Right.
So when I was telling her, I was like, "Well, babe, I need you to download an app called Telegram." She said, "Why you need me to download Telegram?" I said, "Because I don't have an iPhone. I want to be able to send you like videos, high quality and stuff like that." She said, "Oh, okay." And she said, "Well, you can help me set it up?" I said, "It's easy." I said, "Just download it." She downloaded it. I said, "It's gonna ask you for your phone number and just type in your phone number." She said, "That's it." I said, "Yeah." And she was like, "Okay." And she did it, and she set it up, and I got her involved in it, and then she got other people involved, and then she started being in my family group chats, because obviously this was before she was my wife. I convinced her
Oh,
before she was my wife, like
wow.
literally. So we was already on Telegram, and now it's been like we've been married about a year and some change now, and we've been together about going on 4 years. And she now, I mean, like she literally prefers Telegram. She doesn't really care for iMessage. Like you seen what I posted on X. I texted her.
Yeah.
I said
Yeah.
blue bubble. She was looking at me like, I don't care. And like she literally gets mad when I send her a message on regular text messaging. It still was green at the time, but when I sent her a regular message, she'd be like, "Why are you texting me on here? Put it in Telegram." I was like, "Oh, my bad." Like she'd really be mad.
Yeah.
So convincing her wasn't really hard. Convincing my family, like my sister and my sister-in-law and some other people, it wasn't hard. They just really literally downloaded the app and installed it and set it up, and then we just added them to the group chat. It was really no convincing. Now my parents, it wasn't really convincing for them, but I had to do it for them. I had to grab their phones and manually do it because they're not tech savvy or whatever, so they didn't really know how to do it. So I set it up on my dad's, my stepmom, my other sister, because she's not a tech person, and it wasn't really convincing. If anything, everyone was just 100% open to it.
Yeah.
Whether they were Android user or an iPhone user, because I got both. Everyone's converted to using Telegram.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Even,
I kind of wish
yeah.
I had friends and family like yours.
Yeah.
Mine have been a little bit more. It's not that they don't want to do it. It's not like they're like, oh no, I've got to have a blue bubble. It's more or less they just don't want another app and want to learn another app and try to remember to do it from another app. And I think it's just they don't know. You know what I mean? So Beeper Mini came out this week, and it's supposed to be the Android's solution to iMessage. So I signed up for it. It's $1.99, so it's $2, and basically you're supposed to it's supposed to work just like iMessage, right?
Yeah.
Blue bubble. You can send pictures and videos, high quality, et cetera, et cetera. So I got it. I tried it, and luckily for me, it works perfect. So I can send pictures and videos. I'm a blue bubble now. But the cool thing that I liked about it was everyone's been talking about security. We had Sunbird, the deal with them. We had Nothing Chats came out that they combined with Sunbird, and now that's all gone. And then we've had Beeper for forever, but it's always been, if you wanted to get iMessage and to switch over, you had to switch. You had to send it like to a iMac Mini or something in like another state or something. And everyone's worried about, like, I don't want to send my information to some strange computer out there. So this Beeper Mini actually uses Apple servers, which is pretty cool. So like for me, I just signed in and whoa.
Why? You okay?
She wanted to be on the stream.
Yeah, she did.
But so it works fine. Like people don't even know that I'm texting from an Android phone. Like it still shows up as my iPhone, just like it was already there. And so they don't even know. Like most people, I tell them I'm texting them from an Android phone, and they're like, "Dude, like it's still in the same chat and everything." Hey, guest number 2.
Yep, the wife made it.
Hey,
she just finished. Bye, baby.
You get the whole family on the stream.
Hey, you already know it, man.
Yeah, but no, that's it. Like, the digitals. Y'all need a T-shirt.
Facts.
but yeah, it's like it's been great. I don't have to carry two phones anymore. I just carry one if I want to, or like I was telling you, I'm carrying the Nothing phone and I'm carrying my Pixel Fold because I like having a foldable and a regular phone. But it's great. Like all week and all weekend I went out with, or wherever it got it. All week I've been walking around with one phone in my pocket instead of two, and I've literally not touched my iPhone like all week long. And it's been so nice, man. And it's nice that it works. It doesn't give you everything that you can get, like the games and being able to send Apple Pay and stuff like that, but you can do contact location and media. So you don't get any compression or any, and it's fast, like it's super instant. So I've been really, really impressed with it, me personally. And and so I think that it's neat to see more people pushing into that space and kind of breaking that wall down. Apple's fixing to have RCS next year. Now we've got a way to get iMessage on Android, and people have been pushing for that all year, it seems like. So it's a neat thing to see that that's one area that people are like getting away from. Like I've never cared about like color of the bubble. I just want to be able to send pictures and videos to my family and friends, and now I can do that. So,
sorry,
you're good. Yeah. So, next thing I want to talk about and get your opinion. I don't know if you've seen it, but the new Nothing clothes. Did you see the video,
bro? Look, man. So, when I seen it, all I could think about is Kanye trash clothes that he sells, bro. I was like,
that's exactly what I thought. That's exactly what I thought.
Yeah, right. I was like, literally, you make phones, my dude. You make phones. I don't think any of us is shopping on your website for any clothes. And then you didn't even make them appealing looking. You could have just made a simple t-shirt and just wrote nothing on it. And then that would have been a better sale than what you produced out there. Like, who is going to wear that? Like, I mean, look, man, you got to be a real big fan.
And I am, but like maybe as a raincoat, I don't know. It's I saw something that was talking about like we wanted to stay true to our brand of being transparent and doing the like transparent back or whatever. But like, could it not, like, it literally looks like a lab coat, right? Like that's what
it looks like, a worker's coat. Yeah, that's what it looks like.
And I'm just kind of like, I don't want to look like some like creepy doctor or something, or like, to me, it's kind of reminds me of like something like out of like a horror movie or something. So
bro, all they're missing is like the blood. That's it, the blood.
Yeah, like have you ever seen, what was that movie with Christian Bale where like he chops people up or whatever? Is it American Psycho?
Oh wait, American Psycho.
Yeah, like he's always got the coat on. That's what I think of. And I'm like, no, I can't wear that. I can't do it. So as a fan, like I applaud them for like, trying to take a chance and do something different or whatever. And I think they're really trying to push for like the lifestyle thing. Like they want people to see them as a lifestyle brand more than just a tech brand. But I'm with you. I'm kind of like, I'm on the fence about this coat. Maybe we can get just a t-shirt next time or a hat or something. But
my thing is, if they're going to try to build themselves as a lifestyle brand, they're going backwards, right? Google is like, to me, is the only lifestyle brand out there right now. I mean, the features that they add inside the Pixel are like lifestyle features that, work behind the scenes, and it's just typical stuff. Their whole Nest series, their whole Nest Hub, Nest speakers, Nest, just everything speaks like lifestyle, right? Because it just fits into your life. I don't see how that. I'm not saying that they are calling themselves a lifestyle brand, but if they're trying to go in that direction, that jacket, that coat, that shirt, or whatever it is, it just ain't it. The butcher's coat, it ain't it. And their phone is not even a lifestyle phone. It's just a nice phone, right? It doesn't do lifestyle stuff. It's just a nice phone. And just to add though, Roddy, because you are a nothing channel and you are Mr. Nothing, I feel like you need to get that. And I feel like you need to cover it, bro. No cap. I'm not even, look, business wise, I feel like you need to. As far as like you actually rocking it outside, probably not. Maybe like get it and put it in a stream, talk about it, and then like send it back or something. I don't know, but I feel like you need to cover it because this is part of your channel. You know what I'm saying? Like people will come
Yeah.
to me because they want to see like everything Pixel, and I'm going to actually start, all my Google products that I got back there. I'm actually going to start reviewing everything kind of like Google and turn it more so into a Google channel so you can come here for like almost everything Google. So I feel like maybe you should buy that ugly butcher's coat and
So
cover it, bro.
let me ask you this: if Google made a coat that was similar, like maybe it
Mm-hmm.
had like the colors and all on it, or it just looked goofy or whatever, would you get it?
Okay, like I'm trying to tell you, as far as the channel goes, I would get all right. Say if I wasn't a Google channel, absolutely no, right? If because I'm a Google channel, I think I will want to cover it, but I don't think that I'll keep it, right? It would be something I get to talk about on the channel, and then it'd be something I just give back. Be like, if Google's watching this right now, they're gonna be like, dang, they're gonna know my secret. Because if they ever came out with some type of apparel like that, I'm sending it back. If it's ugly, I'm sending it back. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah.
I even thought about wearing a Google shirt in my streams and in my video, but I'm like, no, I'm trying to brand myself. I'm not trying to help them. So, what I'm
Right.
saying? I'm not going to buy their stuff and keep wearing their stuff. I'm not that deep. I want to brand myself because as you can see, that's why I got Devil on Digital apparel and stuff like that. So I'm branding myself. So in the same
Yeah.
situation that I'm explaining to you, yeah, same thing like you. In the same situation, I would get it to cover it because that's what my channel is about. And then I would probably just send it back. It wouldn't be something I rock. And if the price is like crazy high, I probably wouldn't even buy it because I mean, it's probably not even worth reviewing. Maybe some big YouTuber would get in and do it, and then I ain't got to worry about doing it, So I don't know,
Yeah.
but no, I'm not that deep with them, so no, I wouldn't be head first into their apparel. No, sir.
Yeah, I don't know. I've thought about buying one if I can find it. It also
Mm-hmm.
depends on the price. Like I have no idea what they're going to charge for this coat. And
Yeah.
one thing that I think is kind of strange is like even with like the CMF stuff, they've released this and they say you can buy it at their shop in Soho or whatever. But it's like
Mm-hmm.
I would think that they would want to like get this stuff out there and like make it available at least to like the countries and stuff that's close to them, and
Mm-hmm.
not make everything so exclusive to their store. Or if they're gonna do that, maybe put in a US store or something, because I
Yeah.
a lot of people kind of hate it, but it's the truth. I think the US market drives tech and anything that's tech related. And I think
Oh yeah.
I think it's important that if you're going to be in that space, you got to do what you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's one of the reasons why Apple is so popular is because you literally can walk into an Apple store and get some help or find a phone or find a computer or whatever.
Yep.
And I know,
Yep.
a lot of people say, well, I can just go to Best Buy or something like that to buy other stuff. But we know that their knowledge is limited of the products most of the time. Their
Mm-hmm.
availability is limited. They don't do any kind of warranty work if you've got a Samsung or a Google product. So I think that's been probably one of the biggest things that's helped Apple's success. And I think some of these other companies, I know it's expensive to have a storefront, but I think it's
Mm-hmm.
important for them to figure that out. And
It's
hopefully,
very important.
yeah. And I hope that like nothing continues to like really try to push boundaries and do some different stuff. But I'm with you.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that they're like maybe trying too hard, maybe.
Yeah.
And I mean, I like their
Too
product.
fast.
Yeah, I think so. It's like we're going in like 100 different directions here, and it's just
Yeah.
like, you've got a great phone, you've got great buds. I think we'd like to see just some other common stuff.
Yeah.
But I
And
guess
and then
we'll see.
my thing is they only have appeal to tech people right now, and they haven't
Yeah,
really built excuse me, they haven't really built a regular consumer based uh, customers yet. Like you don't see nothing phones outside. You don't hear nobody talking about them. You don't see them in carrier stores. You don't see them anywhere. You see, like, it's crazy because Google was at the bottom and Google is, I ain't saying they're at the top, but you're starting to see more pixels. You're starting to see them in stores. You can start walking in the store and grabbing them, picking them up. You see them displayed in carrier stores and stuff like that everywhere. And, Samsung and Apple already had that dominated already. So we don't even got to mention them. So nothing is literally nothing to nobody. And that's the reality of it. They're only known by the tech community. So for them to do better, they need to get commercial spots. Like you say, they need to probably open up a store. They need to advertise. You know, he needs to really advertise. I get it that he's using like YouTube and everything as a platform, but he needs to go beyond that, because you got to remember that regular consumers, right? They're not on YouTube looking at tech videos. They're looking at funny videos. CJ, that guy CJ, and King Batch, and all of these funny videos and dancing videos and cat videos, and they don't care about tech videos. So he's only preaching to the people who already know about it, and then half of those people, tech people, are not even buying it, right? Because one, we cater more towards, if we're a tech person, right? We cater more towards flagships. We don't really care about the underdogs. Not all of us, but we're really flagships. If a new phone come out and there's an ultra version, a max version, just look at the coverage of it, right? You're going to have tons of coverage of the pro models, the ultras, the maxes, right? But you'll get no coverage on the base models at all. You have those small channels that will, but not the big channels. So nothing has to really kind of probably step out there, take a chance and try to throw out a flagship, throw some commercials out there. Try to get a store open somewhere like New York, somewhere big, Florida, New York, California, somewhere big, where people can just walk in there and see this store and be like, yo, and then they need to advertise that store. You know, they gotta ways to go, unless they're really still trying to maintain being like the underdog, which is okay, but they're not going to go anywhere until they get into these carrier stores, because people, that's not us. They're not buying phones outright like we are. They're getting them on contract. So if you're not going to get in a carrier store, you ain't selling squat. This Apple users that's taken over, the US, they're not buying their iPhones. They're not. I don't care how many people walk in that Apple store. That is probably 2% of the population that's buying this outright, and then the rest of them are getting them off the carrier stores. Come on now, like, got to think about it, man. You got to get in those stores.
I agree 100%. Speaking of nothing and Beeper, and just kind of going off of that a little bit, the guys that work for me in my office, I told them about Beeper Mini, and I got it, and then we all sat around and tested it to see how it worked. And when they saw that, they were like, "Oh, that's cool." They were like, "So are you going to buy us office phones with the nothing phone? Because we would totally rock that phone." But they didn't know that phone existed. If it wasn't for me, they would not know anything about that phone. And they like the appeal of it. But I think, again, they're big iPhone users. And I think the shape has a lot to do with it, because it still looks a lot like an iPhone. But the importance of being able to have iMessage, so that when you're communicating with people, I think they would give it a shot if they have some of that. But that's it. Again, it's like you said, it's about the marketing. They got to see it. They got to see it in the store with the glyph interface on, and they got to have somebody in that store that shows them how it works, and they've got to have support, and they've got to have, they've got to see it. They've got to have that option. They're not going to go searching for this phone, and it's not just going to randomly pop up. I think they've done a good job so far, but I'm with you. I think they've really got to push into that flagship territory with the phone. It's got to have everything. It can't just have some things, other things. And I think a lot of people are hung up on price, but I honestly think they could give us a little bit better hardware, do like Google has, and keep their, that one phone under $1,000 or right there at $1,000 or less, and get it in a carrier store. If it's T-Mobile, if it's Mint Mobile, if it's just somebody that's selling this phone, I think that really does better than selling an iridescent jacket that looks like a lab coat.
Absolutely. I mean, the most important thing is getting them in these carrier stores. I mean, that's just the reality, because us techies are the minority when it comes to, these phone sales and stuff like that. We're a very small percentage compared to the average person walking in carrier phones in stores. And just hear me out too, because what's the price of the? Is it $5.99? I can't remember.
$5.99, yeah.
Okay, so $5.99, right? And I'm T-Mobile, my service, and of course with T-Mobile, I can walk in the store and probably get like a phone. Did I lose visual?
Yeah,
I did. Okay, I don't know what that is about. All right, hold on, guys. I'm gonna try something. Maybe it said it unplugged. Anyways, I'll keep on talking, and I'll just try to replug this back up. So with that being said, a $5.99 phone inside a carrier store would be literally a free phone. they would
Right.
be able to walk out that store with zero deposit on that device or whatever like that, and they would just be able to get that, and they'd be like, your payments would be like somewhere between $12 a month extra to your phone bill, and people would be like, oh, okay, that's nothing, and they would buy that. And I think price is very important when it comes to these carriers. So therefore, if their phone is selling at that price, they can actually gain some customers within that space.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something that they should consider doing. And all right, so oops,
Yeah.
I connected
I
to the wrong thing.
I
Sorry.
I, I agree with you. So I'm going to buy you some time while you try to get that back on.
Yeah.
Talking about nothing, Carl Pay. We'll switch over to his old company he used to work for. OnePlus has it. We know that the 12 is coming out, and I haven't seen a lot of real detailed specs on that phone, but apparently, that phone is full flagship, full everything, full, awesome cameras, awesome hardware, great 120 hertz screen. It's got the newest processor in it. And then it's got some cool colors. I know you're a green guy and I'm a
Love it.
green guy. And that green OnePlus 12 is like, I want to buy that phone just to have that green. Because
Yes, sir.
that's probably the best green anybody's done, just with the way it's like a marble look or whatever.
Yeah,
But
yes, it is.
your take, what do you think? What do you think about the OnePlus 12?
Again, as I always say about OnePlus, I've had like 3 of their phones, and the software experience has always been like, wow, I can do this. But the experience of using it has always been like a letdown for me. Like their features that they offer are really great from stock Android. I think they offer just enough and have like is enough stock Android, and then there's enough features to make you really, to really love the OS and everything like that. But it's just something about their software support that I mean, their software support has never really been that great, and getting updates from them hasn't been great, and their software sometimes is a little buggy. So my experience with them has been not so great on the software front, but I always enjoy their hardware, and like what they're doing now with hardware is just insanely good, man. I'm interested, but it's like, do I want to waste my money? Because I don't think that I'm going to walk away. Like, I'm not looking for a phone to replace my Pixel experience, right? You know how people who use
Right.
iPhones are not looking for another phone to replace their iPhone. They're just going to keep buying iPhone. I'm at that point in my life where I'm just going to keep buying the Pixels because I enjoy the Pixels. That's the phone for me. I'm just going to keep buying it. So I'm not looking for a different Android phone to replace it. So me getting the OnePlus and trying it out, or any of their devices, would be just me trying it out, not me trying to switch away from Pixel. Google, I'm not gonna say Google, but just Pixels haven't given me enough problems to want to run away from them. Like I know a lot
Right.
of other people have a lot of issues. So OnePlus, every time I got their phone, I left them because of bugs. I went back to Samsung, and at the time, Samsung was way more buggier for some weird reason. But I don't know, Samsung just had better something. I don't know what it was. Samsung hardware was always like, yo, you can do this. I was always one of those people who wanted like maximum features. And I used to go around like, can your phone do this? Can your phone do this? That's why I rock Samsung. But I started to become more like a basic user, like an iPhone user who just, not saying that I didn't want these features, but when you're using the iPhone, you have no choice but not to have features. So you get used to not having features, and you get used to not caring. So I started to get to that point in my life where I stopped caring about features. So that's why I'm on Pixel now. But Pixels seem to have more features than people think they do, because the AI stuff is like, you got to consider that stuff features. So, I mean, OnePlus is good, man, but it's not the time. It's not the time right now for me to try them, because they're doing everything right in the hardware department, but I need to see the real improvement in the software.
Right.
And a lot of people keep telling me it's better, it's better. I don't want better, bro. I need that jank to be stellar. I need that jank to be
Right.
on par with Apple. I need it to be on par with Google. I need it to be better than what Samsung is doing. You know what I'm saying? Because even when I grabbed the Galaxy S23 Ultra, right, it's 10 times better than TouchWiz, but Samsung software is still not quite there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's still not quite there, but their hardware blows anybody out the water. That's how I feel about OnePlus. They're doing like this crazy good hardware, but the focus is not on the software. And I think when it comes to software, Apple and Google are they just got that locked down right now, bro.
Right. Yeah, and to me, that's exactly how I feel. Like, great phone on paper, looks really cool, but you're right. It's always that software experience that whenever I watch a review, whenever I've played with one that somebody had, or talked to somebody directly like this, that they had the phone, they tell me about it. It's always the same thing. It's like, if you can look over these software issues, it's a great phone, And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. I'd rather have like a poor camera than a phone that's got a lot of issues with their software. Um,
Yeah.
it's kind of interesting. So, like I said, the specs are what's really cool. You've got, I think it's mainly the cameras that really impress me, because you've got just your regular cameras, a 50 megapixel, but then they've got a 64 megapixel f2.6 70 millimeter telephoto periscope lens, which sounds
Yes.
insane for a mobile
Sounds
phone,
like
right?
sounds like some good portraits for me. That's what that sounds like.
Right,
So yeah.
right. 48 megapixel f2.2 ultra wide that has 114-degree, view or whatever. So it's good and wide. But then they've got the selfie camera is also a 32 megapixel 2.4 with a 21 millimeter wide angle. And maybe I'm wrong, but that's probably one of the biggest selfie cameras you can get on a phone now,
I
because
I
Samsung
think
went
it
back,
is.
right?
Samsung went backwards. Yeah, they
Yeah,
shrunk it down a little bit. Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah.
So I don't know. I'm anxious to see. It's got Dolby Vision on it, which is interesting, that you can shoot 8K. You can do, you know, it's 8K 24 frames. Not sure why they didn't go 30 like Samsung to kind of stay with them, but whatever.
Yeah.
It's not like everybody's shooting 8K with their phone, right? But
Yeah.
yeah,
I don't think a lot of people are.
yeah, I'm with you though. I think that looks cool. I'd love to have that green phone, but I'm like you. I know I'm probably going to get it and go, yeah, it's a cool phone, but the
But
software
yeah,
is just not polished. It's just not
software.
polished. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Um,
that's why I say that I'm not ready. Like it's not the for me. It's not the time to try OnePlus. I'm gonna let them keep on innovating. I'm gonna let them keep improving until that software just hits that nice peak point, and then I'm like, okay, let me give them a chance. Right? That's when I'm gonna do that. But as of right now, I'm not, because even like now, a lot of people who got the OnePlus open, and some people are returning them. Some people are, like, software is this, software is that. It's always that time when you first get a phone and you're excited about it because it's fresh, right? I mean, at least in the Android
yeah.
world. I can't say the same thing for iPhone users because, at least for me in my experience getting every new iPhone, it's just be like, I'm excited. Like, it's crazy because I'm excited for like maybe first few hours. And then after that, it's like, oh, just swiping again. I'm back to iPhone. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
any other Android phone out here, it's a fully different experience. If you got a Pixel, it's a different experience. You got a Samsung phone, it's a different experience. You got a Xiaomi, a different experience. You got a OnePlus, different experience.
Right.
Every Android phone out here has their own different flavors. So every time I get a new Android phone, it's like, oh man, I like this. I like this, and that's how you feel. But then it starts to wear down, and then the novelties are going down. You're like, I think I just want to go back to my Pixel. Or if you're a Samsung person, I go back to my Samsung. You know what I'm saying? It's like one of those things. But it's not saying that the experience is the same. It's just that these things excited you, and you was excited, but then you just like, well, I already fit. My life is already kind of like set up around a Pixel or
Yeah.
Samsung or
Yeah.
whatever,
It's the
and you're
hype.
used to it.
It's the hype. It's giving
Yeah.
into that hype. Yeah.
Yeah. So but if you buy a phone like you got when you with the nothing phone, and the hype goes away and you still find a reason to pick it up and you love it, that's when you kind of realize, like, you know what, that's the phone for you. And that's the situation that happened with the Pixel, right? I transcended from using Samsung for so many years, and I got the Pixel 6, and then I had the Ultra, the S22 Ultra, and I found myself picking up the Pixel 6 over the Ultra. And when I swapped my SIM card back from the Pixel to the Ultra to the Ultra to the Pixel, I was like, you know what? I think this Pixel might be the phone for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to take my my SIM card out and put it in the Pixel and just left it in there. Not one time did I miss my Samsung phone. I only miss my Samsung phone when people started talking about it on Twitter, like they was like, yo, my S22 got an update, or my S22 got this and got that. Then I go back and grab it. Then I'd be like, oh yeah, that's cool. And then I'd be like, nah, Pixel. And that's when I knew, like, okay, maybe the Pixel is the phone for me. And that's why y'all see that, at first I was being called a Samsung Knight, Samsung guide, Samsung this and everything. Now I'm like a Pixel fanboy now. Look, man, it's just that I like the Pixel. It works for me. I just found a phone that works for me and I enjoy it. I enjoyed the Galaxy phone and I showed all these features. My channel, if you looked at my channel, you'll see like massive videos, all my Samsung products, the Buds, the tablet, Dex. I just have so many videos. Then somewhere down that line, when I did my unboxing of the Pixel, you started seeing Pixel content go like this. And then my Samsung content went down here because I started to enjoy the Pixel a lot more. And I realized that I didn't need all those Samsung goodie and features. And I didn't, I thought I couldn't live without it, but I end up living without it. And now I don't even care to have it. Like the features that I get on the Pixel, I can't live without. When I grab my iPhone or any other phone, I'm like, oh no, I got to put my SIM card back in my Pixel. It's just what it is.
Yeah. I would 100% agree because I do the same thing. I still, I've still got the S23 Ultra. Everybody's talking about S23 Ultra, phone of the year. And I'm like, let me put my SIM card back in here and carry this thing for like a weekend or whatever. And dude, I literally like, I think it was this past weekend I did that. I carried the S23 Ultra around and I couldn't wait for Monday morning and come back in my office. And I'm like immediately pulling my SIM card out and putting it back in the nothing phone because it's like, I love that phone so much. And it's not, I'm not saying it's a better phone than the Ultra. The Ultra is very capable. Samsung, this One UI 6.1 update, like it is very, very good. It's their best so far. It fixed their camera issues. It's fixed a lot of things. It's a lot smoother. It's a lot stable. It made the standby time is as good as my iPhone is now. I mean, it fixed a lot of things, but it's just not the phone for me. And I'm just like, once you find that phone that like it does it for you, software, hardware, the whole 9 yards, it just fits like how you work. It changes exactly how you view everything else after that. And it's like
it does. And that's why I don't try to knock anybody's experience on what phone they have. I know a lot of people, they hate that I love the Pixel. So what they like to do is like talk about the Pixel in a bad way. They like to tell me how can you enjoy that phone, how you handle it overheating, how you handle, they tell me about all the problems that
everybody wants to say Tensor.
Yes. They talk about me and talk about all the problems that the phone is having that everyone else is having, right? And thinking that just because I own a Pixel that I'm having those type of issues. And we talked about this before, Roddy, that me and you are different types of user. You're a power user, I'm not. So everything that I do as far as apps, regular apps, right? And photos and videos, Tensor handles all of that well, including gaming if you want to do gaming. Now, obviously, I don't even want to say the game. I don't even want to say that game because I'm sick of people saying that game as the benchmark of games. So I'm not even going to bring that book up.
What game?
But you know what I'm talking. No, you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, if you are a gamer, you should not be looking at a Pixel. Anyways, if that's the thing, you know what I'm saying. If gaming is the first thing that you bring up when you're talking about the Tensor chip, then maybe it's really not made for you. Maybe you need to really go buy a gaming phone out there in general, right? But I'm here for all the smart stuff, the AI stuff that Tensor offers that, again, no other phone offers. But look, I'm not going to make this about this Pixel right now. But all I'm saying is that if someone enjoys a phone, right, don't try to knock their experience down.
Right.
Don't do that. I don't do it to anybody who loves an iPhone or Samsung or you with the nothing phone or anything. I applaud that. And I'm happy that you found a phone that works for you, even if I don't care for it, right? I'm happy for you because I know that these phones out here are different use cases for each and every person that's out here that works for them. And then once you find something that works for you and you love it, enjoy it no matter what people say. And that's why I'm saying I would never talk down to any of these phones. I don't even talk, as much as I do not like iOS, you do not see me posting crap about it, right? I'm never going to post crap about it. I'm not going to sit here and say, well, my phone could do this and my phone could do that and your phone can't do that because I don't care, right? I don't care. If you're an iPhone person and you enjoy it, I applaud that you enjoy it. But if I don't enjoy it, don't try to get mad at me and talk about the phone that I use because you don't like the phone that I use and everyone's talking about it. And you never even owned it. Like I enjoy what the Pixel and what Google offers in their whole entire lineup from phones to Nest products and everything else. And that's just what it is. Google is they have a bad track record for letting go of things. I know I'm aware of everything, right? I'm aware of everything. But because of all that I'm aware of doesn't mean that I'm having that bad experience with them. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Like they haven't made me mad where I'm like, yo, F them. I'm selling everything. I'm going to Alexa and I'm getting a different phone. You know what I'm saying? Like I haven't had that experience where I'm to that point. You know, as a matter of fact, I haven't had that experience with Samsung or iOS. I just, just transition, sorry, over to something that works better for me. I'm literally in here. I'm gonna stop ranting real quick. I'm so sorry because we got to get back to the topics. I'm literally here with Apple's whole entire ecosystem, and I still don't care to carry the iPhone. That is the weakest point of their ecosystem to me is the phone. I just don't like iOS.
Yeah.
So I don't care to use my Apple Watch. I don't care to use, all the features that comes with the phone and computer and Mac and everything like that. But I use my Mac and iPad and AirPods, all that. I got them in now every day.
Yeah.
I just don't use the phone. Literally. My Mac minis I added on, everything, man. I love, believe it or not, you can call me an Apple fanboy, right? Because if you're going to call me a Google fanboy, you got to call me Apple fanboy because I own almost the same amount of products as Google products as well as Apple products.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like keep the same energy across the board. Just because I don't like iPhone doesn't mean that, I can't be an Apple fanboy. I love Apple stuff. They make quality stuff and I just use it in the background, but I use what works for me and iPhone just doesn't.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I'm the exact same way. Like I think a lot of phones, I try not to talk too much junk on any phone as well, because a lot of these phones are just really good now. My S23 Ultra has been great, minus, Samsung giving us whack hardware for the camera. I haven't had any other issues out of the phone, but I've also kind of been used to that. Like that's been if you go back on my channel, you'll see I always complained about this. It wasn't that I didn't think the cameras were capable. It's just the software. It's so inconsistent. And it's the same way with the iPhone. It's like I've always complained like their biggest downfall is iOS. Even this 17.1 version, I mean, it's really good. It's stable. It's smooth. There's no issues with it. Doesn't have any problems, but it's just so boring. And it just doesn't do things the way I want to. It doesn't do things the way Android phones do. And you and I've had that conversation a million times. I will tell anybody, even though I love my Nothing phone, it's great for me. Google's software, dude, is just so good. And I like their hardware too. I know everybody's got their preference, but like to me, when it comes to, if you want the best software experience and you want the best looking phones on the market, I think Pixel's winning that hands down all day, because their stuff looks elegant, looks really nice. And then you get in and their software experience matches the phone the way it looks. I know, man, that looks so freaking good.
It does.
Like none of the phones I have in front of me here look that good when you hold it up. You're just like, you see that and you're like, man, that's good looking. But I want to get to this. I'm going to skip the rumors on the S24. We can talk about that anytime. I'm going to skip that and go to I want to talk to you about Mr. Whostheboss Awards. And I'm going to keep the rant going because I want to start with his flop of the year, which he gave like wooden spoons for that.
I want to say one thing before you get started with that real quick.
Okay.
For everyone who's watching, I don't know what this is going to make you think of me or anything like this, but I haven't seen that video. Okay. I think I read enough about it on Twitter. I do not watch Mr. Who's the Boss, and forgive me for saying this too, MKB HD. I do not watch them. I'm sorry, like I've completely grown past them. Their channels don't offer me any incentive information about anything ever. So Look, man, don't judge me. I just saying that they just don't offer me nothing. It's nothing about how y'all feel about them or other people saying them they're fanboys and biased and all that. I just don't care. I'm about information when it comes to YouTube channels, and the information that I get from them are nothing that I can use. So I don't watch them anymore. So you know, actually, I never really watched Mr. Who's the Boss, to be totally honest with y'all. MKBD used to be my boy. I used to go to him for every tech thing, but he just stopped reviewing a lot of tech that I use, and he's just kind of like more phone and Mac and Apple centric. And I don't care about reviews on MacBooks. I just go buy them. I don't care about, you know, reviews on iPhones. I kind of just go buy them because they're always going to be the same thing, more power. It's no point in me watching a video about that, right? But yeah, but just go ahead, carry on. I do know a lot about the video, so I will be able to communicate this information.
So I didn't really understand the award was spoons. I didn't understand. It was like wooden spoons, like that you cook with, right?
Yeah, I seen that. Yeah.
He had two of them. These were like the flops of the year or the letdowns of the year. Mm-hmm. One was the iPhone SE, which was last year's phone, and I don't know why he threw that in there. I think to me, that video felt very much like what everyone said it was, which was him trying to avoid, like, you know, trashing Apple or not giving Apple enough credit or whatever. And so he gave the iPhone SE one of those spoons, and the other phone was the Pixel Fold. And
yeah, I do remember.
So his reasoning behind that was that for the price, the phone didn't even feel like a first year iteration of a foldable. He said it felt like some prototype that wasn't well thought out. And he talked about the bezels on the inside. He talked about the screen not opening all the way, and that it was the highest priced phone of 2023. But it felt like the lowest cost phone when it come to the build quality and materials of it. And I just didn't think that was fair, because like I use this phone and I hear people talking about the bezels are unacceptable and things like that. But I'm just like today I was looking at it and I was like, does this really look bad? Like, I'm sitting here looking at it going, does this look bad? Like, I'm sitting here holding it and using it and typing on it and everything. And I'm like, it doesn't really. Not, I mean, I get it. Everyone wants to open a phone like that and just have nothing but screen. But like, even the way that they built it and made it, and the way it sits on the screen and everything and around it, like, it looks real clean and good. And I get why they did it and that sort of thing. You know, do we want a full screen in there and none of that stuff? Yeah, sure, probably. But like, to me, it just doesn't look that bad. And even the like the old opening of it, like, I still to this day, like, when I open it, like, you know, I open it all the way with my hands and everything, and I hold it, and I'm like, I open it until it goes all the way flat. Like, I don't just open it. Like, I don't take this phone and go and open it like that. Like, I open it flat.
Yes, that's it. All right, so I want to touch on that real quick. Is that I think like all the other companies have like hinges that actually snap open and they snap into place.
Well, Samsung does it.
Oh, they don't either? Okay.
No, you have to open that all the way up.
So it's weird to me when people are saying that, you know, they're showing their Pixel and they're showing it like this, like saying that it doesn't open all the way when it's just one of those hinges. You see that?
Yeah.
I didn't put any force to it like that. It's just one of those hinges that you can actually put the phone in any position ever, just like that. And so therefore, when you open it, you just open it. It's just that simple.
Right.
It's not like, you're just opening your hinge, because this is how the hinge works. It's not going to snap anywhere.
Right.
It's just,
you just, that's what I say. Like, I don't get this and like stop right there and like, okay, that's as far as it. No, dude, I fold it flat. Yeah. Like, you just fold it flat. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't know.
Look, man, like I say, I'm not trying to defend this, Jay, but people are just, I don't know, man. I just don't. All right, so listen. I'm gonna just say this right here, right? the reason why people trip about the price is because YouTubers tripped about the price, right? They say
I
the
mean, it's
Pixel phone
expensive.
shouldn't have been 18. No, but every foldable came out expensive. That's the thing.
Yeah.
When Samsung had the first one, the third one, actually the first one was like 2000. Then the second one came out, and the third one came out, and it didn't even have like the tablet UI. It didn't have the S Pen support, and they still didn't care about the $1,800. And
Right.
then Google comes out, and listen, just say that this comes out at $1,800 and the bezels in the bezels wasn't like this. Like, I ask people this question, I'd be like, what makes it not worth $1,800, right? Like, what is it that they need to do to it to make it worth $1,800? Nobody can really answer that question besides saying like the bezels, and then like they say add a pen. So adding a pen and bezels would just dramatically make this 18, like the hardware, the IP rating, the good screen, the battery, just the cameras, just everything else. Like what, because a lot of these flagship foldables don't have the best camera out there.
Yeah.
Now, if you're gonna rag on them, let's rag on everybody, right? Everything about this phone, right, should have flagship stuff like this phone. And I 100% agree with everybody for that price. But this is the price of foldables, $1,800. That is anybody who drop a foldable, that can be the centric starting price if they wanted to. Now, if you want to be smart as a company, you'll cut that price down so you can outsell the other ones, obviously, right? But that just seems to be like the starting point to have the luxury of doing this. That's really it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not defending the price. Obviously I bought it at $1,800. I would definitely love to buy anything cheaper. Okay. But what do you need for it to be worth $1,800? I mean, it's a Pixel. It does everything Pixel does. It's the experience that you want in a foldable. And the build quality is like, it's the best build quality Pixel out there today. Still to this day, after the Pixel 8. Pixel 8 comes in second, but still, like, I don't know, man. I mean,
yeah, I think the phone to me personally, like after using it, and I'm somebody that I've used a foldable, and I know there's a bunch of people say, well, I've used a foldable too, but I know 90% of the people out there on Twitter that have used a foldable, they haven't used it for a full year. They used it for a few months, and we're seeing it now with everybody that bought the OnePlus Open, and they were all crazy. This is the best phone of the year. This phone is great. It's amazing. It does everything. Yada yada yada. They're all getting rid of it now, and that's the thing is like none of these. Like I had my Fold 3 for a year, and then I got the Fold 4, and I had that for a year. And as somebody who has used that as their daily driver for a year, I can tell you the Pixel, I personally didn't like it when it came out. And then once I got it, I wouldn't get any of the other foldables out there that we have here in the US, the OnePlus Open or the new Z Fold 5. I wouldn't get those. I would get the Pixel after the experience with it, because it's like I told you, I like the design better. It's to me a better form. And I know everybody talks about the weight and this, that, and the other, but it's like, yeah, but it's so
that's fair.
small. It's fair.
Yeah,
but the thing is like I can hold this like this in my full hand, and like whenever I have the Z Fold 5, because it's so long, well, half of that skinny screen sticks off the end of my finger, and I'm having to clutch it like a remote control, and it's less comfortable to hold. It may weigh less, but it's less comfortable to hold. And so I don't know why it gets so much hate. He gave best foldable to the OnePlus Open, which I didn't agree with that either. I'd rather him giving it to the Samsung, because like
I would have given it to the Samsung if anything over that, because first of all, that just came out. It didn't even have enough time. No. And just because you're like overly hyped about this, the ratio of it and the software, whatever, I guess, and the little features they got. I mean, you got to spend a little bit more time with something, right?
Yeah.
Like
I feel like everybody went nuts over that outer screen ratio, and no one talked about the inside of the phone, which to me is that's why you buy a foldable. You buy it for the inside screen. And me and you've talked about this, is like, we like this book form factor. We like this long ways. To me, this is the best way to do multitasking as a power user.
It
as a
is.
power user, like today I was doing that back and forth. Like I was doing like my leads and my Monday.com stuff, and I needed my calculator over here, and I was just going back and forth. And it's better than the Samsung because the Samsung stretches everything, and sometimes you can't see stuff, and you got to move stuff back and forward to read it. And that OnePlus Open is the exact same way. It's squared off.
It's
and
square,
it doesn't have that. And we know it doesn't have that great of cameras. We've heard multiple people talk about it. Good cameras, but it's not pixel cameras. So I don't get why people get all hung up on that outer screen being a certain way. And you know, I feel like I think Google's probably going to move this to being like a 6.1 inch screen.
I said that I hope that they don't go past that, because I really don't
think they will.
I don't want this ratio on this phone, right? Because if we get this ratio, then we're going to get long apps again. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, the Fold actually, like you said, is the better form factor, because if I got an app like this, it splits right here, right? This is the crease.
Yeah.
That's a full screen app by itself on this side. Over here is a full screen app. When I close it, full screen app. But if it's long like this is what you're going to get. You're going to get a split app like that. Down the middle, and it's going to be like that. And that's all the other foldables out there right now. And I just don't want Google to lose this form factor, because under pressure of the creators out here talking about they prefer, you know, the OnePlus long, you know, ratio, and then when you unfold it is a square. Like I don't want that, man. I want competition, and I want it different. I don't want it to be the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, if Google did that, they're going to disappoint me, and I can't say that I will stick with their foldable. I can't say that I will or won't just because I'm a Pixel guy, but I'm just going to be so upset, because I do like that the Pixel Fold opens in landscape as a tablet, because I'm a tablet guy. I love tablets. My Mac right here is landscape, right? 6:9 or whatever ratio is, probably not 6, but you get the point. It's square. So when I'm splitting screening, I can get full blown, you know, apps on each side, which looks good. But when you got a screen that's long, then you're gonna get them thinner. So literally, Google, you know, believe it or not, has the best ratio for foldables for apps. Period. Unless apps become elongated, then Google's going to be losing then at that point, right? But apps are at normal ratio on this 5.8 inch screen, which opens up to, like, you know, 2 more 5.8 inch screens. I guess, you know, if you think about it. But you get the point. So
So he did give the best. What I thought this was strange. He said best mid-range phone was the Pixel 7a, and I was like, I didn't think that Pixel 7a was a mid-range phone. I would consider that a budget phone, right?
That's budget. Yeah, I think that's budget. Because I mean, I look at budget phones as phones that are free phones on carriers, and that's a free phone on a carrier.
Right.
You know, that's considered a budget. You walk in there because you have no budget, and you walk out with a free phone, right? I mean, am I wrong? Am I wrong? I don't.
No, that's exactly how I feel. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that's why I don't listen to these big YouTubers no more. I don't watch them because I feel like a lot of them are out of touch with the average consumer. To me, literally a budget phone. Hey, I got like $50 in my pocket. I want that phone right there. Oh, well, we got a whole section over here of free phones. Here's the Pixel 7a. It's a free phone. You just got to pay the taxes. Well, how much is the taxes? Well, $43. Oh, I got 50. Okay, cool.
Right.
And you walk out with it. Now, a $800 phone that's the iPhone, right? $800. You're going to have to pay a deposit walking out the store with that thing, because at least with my carrier, T-Mobile, anything over $700, you have to make a deposit. It depends on your credit, though. But you have to make a deposit towards that and pay taxes and stuff like that. So for most people, that's not budget. That's really not budget, because they can't even afford the money for the deposit, but they want the phone. So the Pixel 7a is in the free phone section, not budget section.
Yeah.
I mean, or mid-ranger. So
and there was a bunch of people that I saw it on Twitter. They were saying the same thing. It was like, how can you give this best mid-range phone? Of course, he gave the best camera to the iPhone, which
not surprised.
Not surprised.
Not surprised.
You know, we all know the best camera phone out right now is a Pixel 8 Pro. So we know he was wrong there, and I'll just say it. But then again, he just, you know, he at the end he was like, best phone of the year is the Samsung S23 Ultra, which is not a surprise. We feel like a lot of people are going to say that this year, that was best phone that came out. It's one of the best well-rounded phones that's out there. It kind of checks the boxes for most people. You know, you and I have talked a little bit about that throughout the year. But then he couldn't just leave it with one phone for the year. He had to have two phones of the year. And he said the 15 Pro Max
see that.
Was also the phone of the year. And I'm like, no, there's only one phone. It's supposed to be
phone
singular.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, like I have the 15 Pro Max, and I've carried an iPhone for a very, very long time, right alongside of all of my Android phones. And I can tell you, this is the first year that I really liked the iPhone, and I would say, you know, it was enticing on a lot of levels. But after you've carried the two phones side by side for 6 years, man, it's just not. I don't think that it's worth the price that you got to pay to get this phone. Like it's just not like you could get an iPhone 13 Pro Max, an iPhone 12 Pro Max. I just don't feel that there's any real big difference or upgrades between these devices to justify spending money and upgrading this and getting it every year. And is it a solid device? Yeah, but I just don't see it doing anything now. In 2023, I don't see it doing anything better than everything else. And that's including video. And you and I have talked about this. It's like, it really depends on like whose hand an S23 Ultra or a Pixel 8 Pro, whose hand is that phone in and what's the video look like coming out of it. And I think there's also close that there's not enough difference for you to say, oh, well, it's Android versus iOS. And I'm like, no, those walls are coming down too. And to me, there's just not enough innovation with the iPhone. I mean, it's still, even though they changed it to the titanium and it feels and looks a little different, they slightly upgrade the cameras. They say there's a faster chip in there. You just can't, to me, you can't feel it. You just can't feel it. And I just don't think that warrants it to be in any category because it's unchanged. It's, you know, you just can't.
And I agree.
Can't tell.
And that's one of the things I say about iPhones is that they got so good that they're just good, right? The same. Nothing changes. There's Apple has so much consistency that the phone is completely boring. It's just, you know, not, you know, and I'm only saying this, I don't want to say boring because I hate using the word boring, but it's just like, it doesn't, like, it's so good that, like you said, you can buy the Max 12, you can buy the Max 13 or 14, and you feel like you're still having 99% of the same experience with the newest iPhone that's out because they only lock you out of a few little features and you can find yourself living without them, right? Because a lot of the stuff you use, and then one thing about the consistency of iPhones, iPhone users get an iPhone and they literally use the same stuff, features over and over. So like my wife, right? She don't do anything new with her iPhone, no matter what new features Apple introduced. And that's the same thing now, before somebody say it, that's the same thing we can say about Pixels, right? You can say that. But the thing about Pixel is that the features they mostly offer are features that work in the background, right? And they work where you don't have to worry about thinking about it. Apple features, you have to like, oh yeah, let me start this, let me do this, let me, you know, click this and start this going. So basically smart replies, right? For Google. Literally, you know, somebody say something to you, Google sees it, and they already have a smart reply down there. You didn't have to do anything extra. You didn't have to do anything extra for it to pop up. It's already down there. So now you're like, Dad, do I feel like typing everything? Oh, wait, what Google just said, I could just click, oh, send it back. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say that Google has like a lifestyle phone. Apple don't do stuff like that. Everything with Apple has always got to be, oh, we have log now. So now you got to go in there, do the log, do this and everything. And log is a good thing. I want log for the Pixel. Don't get me wrong. That's probably a bad example because I want that feature, right? But what I'm saying is that Apple features that they offer are features that you have to think about turning on, using, in what situation and stuff like that. Google will make features that kind of like sit in the background that kind of does things for you, and then you can choose to like click it right there, or you can ignore it completely and continue doing what you're doing and stuff like that. So like when you're in, like, think about the Recorder app, right? How it can break down different voices. That ain't something that you have to stop and go. On Apple's Recorder, you probably got to stop at that first person finished talking, then record the next person. Google Drink automatically do it. That is a lifestyle type of thing that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So yeah, iPhones have, to me, they're great phones, but they're really at a standstill.
Yeah.
And I know, if because I'm saying that about the iPhone, I have to say that about the Pixel or Samsung, because that's what everybody else is going to say. I don't think that I don't think that the Pixel is at a standstill. I'm just going to say it for to ease y'all minds, because I don't like drama. But no, the Pixel is not at a standstill. They're inventing new AI features every
I think
day
so.
to like really make your life better, right? And
Mhm.
it works. And I don't think that they're stale. Their design might be getting to a point. Well, they're finalizing their design, but at that point, you can sit there and say that everyone can't make a better design because designs are getting a little stale. And fair, right? Fair argument with that. But as far as like innovating on software, Google is the only one that's doing it. I'm sorry to say that, but that's
Yep.
just the reality. You get a Pixel, you're excited about these new features. It's just what it is, man. I don't. You get an iPhone, it's the same iPhone that you had last year, just more powerful, maybe slightly better camera, video, and it's same.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. So I
Yeah.
mean, but before I finish that, I want to say I'm not surprised about Mr. Boss's thing. Yeah, it's from, I don't watch his stuff, but from the people who don't like him and the people that do like him, what I see from Twitter, that he is really iPhone centric, and a lot of YouTubers are, and that's completely fine, because like I say, I don't knock his hustle if he wants to keep on praising them or whatever people are saying he does in MKBHD. It's business to me. I look at it like that. If Apple is paying them money, hey, praise the hell out of that, Jay. Period. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Do you? People are always going to be mad about what you do, no matter what. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to knock their money. I'm not going to call these people biased. I don't really care for them. I don't really care for their content, so it doesn't bother me. But if they're out here making money, make that money. If Apple is paying those bills, bro, you got to eat. Let Apple pay your bills. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
People are going to be sensitive about how you credit one phone and discredit another phone, because that's just, they want their phone that they like to be praised. Like everybody who's seen that reward probably was like happy when they seen the S23 Ultra up there as the king, and then he dropped the iPhone for a surprise for everybody, and everybody's like, yeah, now everybody shut up because both of the phones phone a year. Like, who is Mr. Boss to tell you what phone is the phone of the year? Like the thing is, that's the thing that kills me about a lot of these people, man. It's content, right? He's making content. That's his job. Right. He's getting the views. He's manipulating. I'm not saying like in a bad way, but he's doing what he's supposed to do to get the buzz going, to get people to click, to get people to watch. Yeah. He's doing his job, and he's doing it well. So I commend that man, and I commend MKBHD, HD, whatever, for everything that they're doing. But I don't find their content useful for me, so I don't watch them. Mm-hmm. But I definitely, I wouldn't ever mind being on their level. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
People just want to hate so much, man. And you know what I'm saying? Like, this could be a different subject, right now. Let's go,
man. So to wrap everything up, before we go, what's your phone of the year?
I picked the 7A, and I'm only picking that because I'm thinking about the little guys, right? I want to say like one of the iPhones, but we didn't get an SE this year, or a iPhone mini or whatever. I guess SE, because I would choose the SE over a mini. But I would just say the 7A, only because I'm thinking about people who can walk into a carrier store and walk out with this phone at $599 with $12 or $13 payments a month added to their phone bill, versus like everything else. Now, if we're talking like in the tech community, because I feel like it's kind of hard to say what phone is phone of the year now today, because people want me to say like, yo, the iPhone is, but I can't, because it's not the equivalent of an Android phone, right? It's iOS. For iOS users, it will only be iOS, right? There's no other version of iOS on any other phone besides an iPhone. So the iPhone would be the phone of the year for iPhone users. Android, there's a different category. You can choose an Android phone that you may think that's above all for the phone of the year, because, they're all on the same OS with different flavors of it. And I'm just thinking about, when I'm choosing my phone of the year, I'm just thinking about the average consumer, not us in the tech community who cares about everything the Ultra offers. If I gave the Ultra to my dad or my mom or my grandma or even my brother, who's a little bit younger, it may be way too much phone for them. You know what I'm saying? It's the phone that does everything, but do they need everything? Do they need that 100 times zoom? Do they need that pen? Do they need that large screen? And then when you put on this case on it, it's even larger. Like, you don't know if his pocket, what kind of jeans he got. Like, it's just, we don't know.
Yeah.
So I think as a middle ground, the 7A was probably the best price phone this year, as well as the features that you get. And I want to give that phone of the year from just like that stuff alone and everything else. Not what we think is like the best phone, but the best phone for, because if I gave my mom a Pixel, she wouldn't know how to use it. And it got a good camera, right? She don't even have to, my mom takes some very crappy pictures on her Galaxy phone. Literally crappy pictures. She always be like, well, my picture's blurry. And you know, I can't be like, Mom, it's a shutter speed. You're like, she don't know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah. She don't know none of this stuff. So I mean, I can't sit there and explain that to her. So I just be like, Mom, I'm gonna get you a different phone. So me and my family, we're gonna get her a Pixel this year. She's gonna get a Pixel. And she's never gonna call me again about no blurry pictures, right? But you can't explain that stuff to people because they're not techie. So I'm stepping out of my little techie mindset, and I'm just going with that phone because it's cheaper. Now, if Apple offered a phone at that price that was good with everything, I can say they can get phone of the year for like the Apple users for that. But it seems like when it comes to Apple, it's always going to be their Pro model. They're not Max model, but their regular Pro model. I would always choose that for phone of the year because everybody don't want that big ass phone. My wife don't even like big phones. She didn't even want her 6.1 inch Pro that I got her.
Yeah.
But, I told her, hey, babe, moving forward, Apple ain't making no more 5.8 inch phones. So when you upgrade, you're going to have to get 6.1. So yeah, that's my phone of the year. I'm sorry for the rant about it, but I just need y'all to understand. I just need y'all to understand where I'm coming from. And like I say, it didn't have to be a Pixel. It could have been any other phone, but you can't walk into, a carrier store and get a OnePlus phone. You can't go in there and get a nothing phone. It's only Samsung, Apple, and pretty much Google. So out of those three, Google has the best budget phone right now. Samsung phone, the regular SEs are a little bit more expensive. So I wouldn't call that a budget phone or best phone of the year because it's just one of those phones that most people can't afford to get, so.
Yeah. Cool.
That's it.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to reveal mine because I am going to do an award, but I think most people probably have an idea of what mine is, but I don't go off of like highest in specs. I'm kind of like you. Like to me, it's the best bang for the buck is kind of what I go off of. But I also typically give it to the phone that I feel was like the biggest upgrade over last year's model. So there wasn't a last year's model of the Pixel Fold, or I would give it to the Pixel Fold because I have really that's probably the phone that I was least excited about and was super critical of that I ended up getting and enjoying the best out of all the phones. I wanted the nothing phone. I didn't want the Pixel Fold. I criticized like the way it looked. I criticized the bezels. I was like, Tensor G2, come on, man. And then I got it and it's like, I got it and I was like, this is better than the pro level phones. I don't know. I think it's just the way I am as a user. It just fits my lifestyle better. So I use it differently and it fits better than like a 7 or 8 Pro. But I always go for the phone that is the biggest upgrade, but is not like, super duper expensive. So I think people will be surprised that I'm going to do a whole video series leading up to New Year's for each category that I'm doing. I'm doing 8 categories. And so I'm going to drop one of those videos just like one after another and do a whole series for phone of the year. But I think people will be surprised. Me and you've talked a little bit about it. So and then you left me now.
Yeah,
there
just,
you go.
Yeah, I got it.
So
is that the right camera? That's the wrong camera.
Oops.
This is the Mac camera. Look how trash this thing is. Back in the back. All right. I don't know. I gotta plug this thing back up. I don't know why this thing. Maybe it's getting hot. I'm testing this camera. So my last live stream, it was fine. So maybe it's getting hot or something, but it's
hour and 13 minutes. That's a long live stream. So
but it's not even warm.
It's not warm.
No. So this is interesting. I don't know what's
Maybe it
there's a
has
cap cord.
maybe it has a record length. We'll have to talk about
Yeah.
that. We'll have to talk about that next podcast because it's been
Mhm.
an interesting device. I've seen several people get it. You got it. You really like it.
Oh, I love it. Oh, best purchase of the year, man. Ain't nothing topping this purchase right here, bro. This is it.
Yeah,
This is 100% it. I don't know why the
yeah.
camera's not coming back on. Right here,
So
camera.
there you go. Perfect timing. So should we end on that note? You coming back?
Oh, we can. But I do want to say one more thing about the Pixel Fold real quick. I agree with
Yeah.
you. I was a little upset with like the Tensor G2. I'm still upset about it, really. I feel like it should have had the 3.
Yeah, the G3 is
I
way
was
better.
Yeah, I was upset about the camera, but it's still a Pixel camera, so I never really had any issues. But what I'm only upset about the camera because of what Google did with the 8 Pro camera, right? The whole
I
RAW
agree.
50 meg. That pissed me off after I got, the Pixel 8 Pro. I was like, yo, okay, Google, now you messing with me, man, because like I was okay with the camera until that came out. I was like, now y'all know y'all should have waited for Tensor 3 G3. So yeah, the Pixel, I do have my complaints about it, but I agree with you. It's not the phone of the year that I would choose, but it's my favorite phone purchase of the year, even over
Yeah.
the 8 Pro. But because of the camera on the 8 Pro, I carry both of these phones. Like I hope that the Pixel Fold 2 gets the camera system that this has, or better, at least because it's going to be newer, right?
Yeah.
And I hope it gets G4 in here, off the rip. G4 and a better camera.
Yeah.
I wouldn't carry this anymore. I wouldn't need it. I wouldn't need it because other than that, all the other features, the Pixel Fold will be getting. Even if they did G3, we will get all the features that the Pixel 8 has. But I want to be able to just carry my Pixel Fold. I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, I'm probably still gonna carry a Pixel 8. It's just gonna be in my bag. It's in my pocket because this is my business line, and I always got a second phone no matter what. I carry 2 phones, but I can keep it in my bag like I used to keep my iPhone. When I carried my Pixel and my iPhone stayed in my bag until it rung. Until I got a phone call or text message. So I want to be able to do that with my Pixel Fold. I want to keep it in my pocket, and I want to keep the other phone in my bag. But I have to have this camera ready to take a picture.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's very good. Like I'm not gonna lie. Like I didn't keep my Pixel 8 Pro because I'm so happy with this. Like this is the Google experience that I enjoy the most. But that camera is so dang good, dude. It's so good.
It really is. And then what make it worse right now is that my pocket that I'm using stays in my pocket too. So now I'm walking around with this big heavy fold, this and a pocket. Because I want this for camera, right? And I want that for my video. And then I want this for everything else. So it's like, oh my God, I can't win now. Because that pocket
your wife thought it wasn't going to get any worse, and now it is.
It got worse. It got worse. Yo, look, man, I'm gonna say this, and we can get in this, right? I'm just gonna say this because I got the pocket review coming real soon. I'm gonna tell you that this pocket, if any content creator out there has this pocket, right? Don't let them try to tell you that you can't shoot YouTube videos with it, or it's not good enough for B-roll or A-roll and all of that. This camera can be that one stop camera for almost everything. Now, if you want that creamy background blown out, bokeh and all this stuff like that, you still might have to use your other camera for shots, but you can shoot in logs, so therefore you can match it up. But this camera is a game changer, meaning that it stays in your pocket everywhere you go. So while I'm out at Walmart, in Walmart's parking lot, I'd be like, you know what? I could get some B-roll of my Pixel 8 Pro because I'm still going to be shooting videos of it. I get some B-roll on there. I go to the beach. I can get some B-roll. I go, the Kroger. I get some B-roll. I be at a restaurant. I can get some B-roll. Like you can pull it out and just start shooting. And it's amazing. It changes content. Beautiful day outside. You want to get some shots of the sky so you can add it in your video. Start panning with it. Put it back in your pocket. It's a game changer. I'm telling you, you're going to love my video. I think you're going to love my video. I'm not going to review it like everyone else did. It's going to be like a real type of thing. So that's all I want to say. Just be on the lookout.
That's it. That's the perfect ending to make sure you subscribe to both of us. I just hit 1,000 subscribers, so that's awesome.
Congratulations, bro.
Thank you. And that was a big year-end goal, so we made it. And then I'm really excited to see. I've never really wanted one of those pockets before. I didn't think they were that great a video, but like some of the stuff I've seen of yours, I'm really excited. So yeah, it's still a good strong. We've still got a month left for stuff to happen. So I think this is kind of the most excited I've been about tech in a long, long time. Like all the stuff that's happening, kind of like some cool stuff, some crazy stuff that's shaking up the world. So it's a good time to have a podcast too.
Absolutely. Perfect timing.
Yeah. So I think that's going to do it for us, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out, everybody that's watching. And guess we'll see you next time.
All right, everyone. Peace out. Wait, there they go. Had to wait for the balloons.